Hello. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Okay. Hello, hello. I am connected. All right. So I am hopping on today to deliver this message to you, whoever needs to receive this message around this very, very old energy that needs to go, that needs to be released from our life, from our creative lives. So this is a great one for you if you are similar to me, you're creating, you're kind of stepping out of the norm and you're creating something bigger for yourself. This is a message for you, and anyone really that is trying to do anything out of the norm. So this is one that kind of makes me smile a little bit because it's just very common, but it's like a message that sort of got in and everybody kind of jumps on to this way of being. And I've seen it a lot in personal development. Hello, Darren. So it's the whole fake it till you make it. And in my industry and kind of personal development world, there is a lot of that energy that people are stepping into. And I want to just kind of unpack it a little bit, just to kind of talk you through and what to do instead, because it might be that you've been taught this or you've learnt this somewhere along the way, often in creativity, entrepreneur world, and actually in a lot of industries we have this thing of putting confidence on when we don't feel confident in order to show the world that we are a certain level, right? So that other people believe that we're at a certain level, and then we create confidence in that very external way. And I suppose it does have its place. It's definitely had its place. Some people have created some level of success from it, but I want to take you into a much more higher frequency, much more potent, much easier on your soul and mind and body and heart way of doing it that doesn't require you to fake it. Because I tell you what's going on right now, so many people are very in tune with energies, and many of you will be watching this. So even if you don't realize, even if you think you can put it on, I tell you, people can pick up. You ever seen, you've watched someone's message or you've read someone's thing and you can agree with even what they're saying, right? Have you ever done this? You've read someone's post or watched something, you agree in principle with what they're saying, but you do not feel the energy behind it. You can feel there's a lack somehow. Sometimes we feel repelled by that message and we don't always know why, but we just feel it. So this is really important if you're doing any kind of creativity, business, creations of any kind, to get a handle on this, because we're in an era now where kind of used car salesman energy of trying to manipulate an outcome and fake it till you make it. It doesn't land. It never really did, but even more in the energies that we're in, it just doesn't work. So I know a lot of you are maybe still in some of that energy. So let's shift it up a level, and get into that. So never faked it, never needed to, never wanted to, never needed to. Okay, good, perfect. So you don't even need this live stream, but thank you for being here. Yes, that's it, right? I love that. Oi, I'm a used car salesman. I knew I was going to get a comment on that. No, what I mean is the kind of fakey, and you know what this energy is. I'm sure that you've seen it. The ones that they're deceptive, right? There's a deceptive energy, and I could say the same as like the legal world. There's a lot of people in the legal world. That was my world of kind of bullshit, sneaky energy. So this is not about anti-car salesman. If you are a car salesman, much love to you. you know, but it's about that fakey kind of energy, and I see so much of it in the coaching world, right? Because I can spot it a mile off. So, and the thing is, what we've been taught as well is there's a whole thing, there's a whole philosophy which has got a power, and it says act as if. So a lot of you who've read the personal development books and you've got into this field, we're often told, I remember learning this, act as if you're the successful version of you, and then you'll become it. So depending on how you're using the energy, that can be another version of kind of fake it till you make it. Like I've seen a lot of people, they craft their stuff online, and I've been here long enough to see and even spoken to people later to know that actually behind the scenes they're not the successful version that they're really trying hard to act as if they are. So there is something we can do beyond that, right? Because it is about getting into our power. I'm glad you think that's funny. That's haven't offended you then, because in a world of everyone being deeply, deeply offended by everything, I love that you're here and that you find it funny. Okay. I know you wouldn't be offended. So what I've kind of tapped into over the years is why I talk a lot about it, is the higher self energy. So the higher self energy is very much, it is tapping into a version of you that you are not necessarily walking now, but what it's doing is it's tapping into your deepest soul potential that really is you, already deep underneath the programming, the layers, the doubts, and the beliefs, right? So all you're doing really is by tapping into the higher self. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the higher self is the higher level consciousness version of you. If you really want to dive into that, I've got episode 10 of my podcast. Just look up the Awake Revolution podcast on Spotify or Anchor, or go on my page and find it. So you can just learn a little bit more about that if you want to. But it's the higher version of yourself. So the higher version of yourself has already created whatever it is that you're wanting to step into. So you're not faking it. You're literally accessing it from your higher self. You're pulling it into now and you're embodying that. So how I do it, and how I've been doing it for some time, is going, okay, if I'm in my human doubt or in my human smallness that can come in sometimes, like I have days where I literally, even though I've been doing this, talking about all the things, like all these things that I care about for 7 years now, I still have days where I wake up and I go, is there a point to anything I'm doing? Is it making any kind of difference? Am I talking absolute nonsense? Should I just give it up and go and become like a lawyer again, or completely close myself off to this? Like, I have these doubts, right? But the difference is I recognize them, that they aren't real. I just know that the sneaky mind is coming in, old patterns are coming in, old programmings are coming in, and they're bubbling up, and it's my job to recognize them. So when that happens, imagine then if I wasn't feeling confident, or I felt very just lacking in belief in what I'm doing, my mission, all the things, right? Imagine if I came onto a video or a live stream, or even if I wrote a piece and I started faking it, right? And I started talking to you about how great it is to be super confident all the time, and you really need to sort your confidence out. Like, I wouldn't be walking that walk, right? I'd be sort of saying it from this energy of, I don't really feel like that. I'm just going to fake it so that you think that I'm confident, and you start to see me as this person and you want to work with me or something. So I could do that, but I tell you, you would feel the lack of resonance. Even if you weren't consciously aware, you would feel, unless you were very disconnected, but most of the people I connect with, you're highly in tune, which is why I love you so much. You're going to feel something's off. You may not even know consciously what it is, but you would feel the lack of resonance, right? So I wouldn't want to do it from that place. Like, I'd never write a piece or share something where I'm not behind the message. Doesn't mean I'm in a super good mood all the time when I do it, but I'm not going to talk about something where it's the opposite to what I feel and I'm faking it, right? So how I do it instead is, I don't fake it till I make it. I just step into, okay, I know my human is giving me all these beliefs and doubts and bullshit for whatever reason. Could have been a multitude of reasons. If I was stepping into my higher self, the version of me that has already walked this path, and she's not in that zone of doubt, she's doing the things that I already know that's for me, because I have a vision of things I'm doing and what I want to create in the world. I have massive visions, massive ones, which will make more sense in the future. If I tap into that version of me, I know then I can just snap into it, and I can ask myself, well, what would she be thinking in this moment? Okay, well, she'd be thinking that she has a message to share, and it's not even about me. My work isn't me showing up going, check me out, look, I'm doing live streams. Like, it's nothing to do with me. My pure heart and soul is to deliver some kind of message that comes through me, and my job is to deliver it, right? I'm really just the messenger. So that's what I'd be thinking in my higher self. How would I be feeling? Would I be feeling fairly relaxed? I'd be feeling naturally confident, because I'd understand that my message is not about me. My message is about me being the messenger and making my mission bigger than my own bullshit, my own doubts, my own insecurities, right? Okay, so what would my higher self then be doing accordingly? Well, she'd get herself dressed, she'd be straightened up, she'd be stepping into this energy. So it's like, as you're doing this, you're creating the energy. This isn't a mental exercise, by the way. So as I'm talking about this, it's about getting yourself into the energy. And you might just want to sit down and be with yourself. You might want to write it out, whatever floats your boat. Often just having a shower, I take myself through this. By the time I come out of the shower, I'm like this different person. Michael often like laughs. He's like, my God, you were like this way, and then you've come out of the shower like transformed, because I've literally shifted my energy. So then when I come out of that, I then show up, I act, I take the action, whatever that action is. It could be write something, create something, do a live, do it, whatever it is in my business day. And then I'm creating it from that place. So I've snapped out of my human doubts, and I've transcended and gone into a higher level frequency, but it's not fake, right? It's not about faking it till you make it. Equally, if I had some deep rooted, like let's say if it was like really deep rooted thing, um, like let's say before when I had issues with visibility, which I've talked about a lot, I was literally, my palms were sweating to come and do a live stream. If I then faked it and came on a live stream and started suggesting and encouraging people to get over your fears and be visible just because I am, that would be out of alignment, right? So it's that would be like a fake energy, but it's about getting into the energy of the thing, whatever it is that you're creating, right? So there's a whole higher level of tapping into your higher self. Means you never have to fake it, you never have to pretend to be anything other than who you truly are. And your higher self is just that higher level version, and you are being more you if you're acting from your higher self than you ever would be acting from any kind of self-doubt, fear, insecurity, some kind of small restricted energy. This is what we forget. Your higher self is the full, true, expansive version of you. So there's nothing fake about that. So if you start to tap into that, you will never have to fake anything. People do it all the time. It's not just business. People fake in relationships, right? People, the dating world, God, the fun dating world, right? People show up on dates sometimes and they fake who they are, usually because they're insecure and they're lacking confidence. But actually, if they knew how to step into who is their higher level version, what that's really true for them, they could go on that date and be super relaxed and just trust and act from that place, speak from that place, right? You can do it in any area. You can do it with your food choices. You can do it with, I've often done it with food. Like if I'm being more conscious, that's an ongoing thing for me. But I'm trying to be more, like say, more conscious in what I'm eating. Sometimes I get like a craving and I'd say, okay, if I was really acting for my higher self, what would she be choosing? And I already know the answer, but I'm asking myself the question anyway, right? But forgiving myself when I don't always stick to it, right? But it's so about getting into that truth of who you are. And that's where a lot of us, fall into that trap if we don't know how to do that, because we're trying to create this image that we feel is good enough, or that we feel matches what we maybe think the outside world is needing to see from us, right? And I'm not talking about you have to be confident all the time. You can show up and be vulnerable. You can show up in any state, but it's being that real version. And because we know fake energy, we understand it when we see it, right? And if anything's stuck for you in any of these areas, it might be that you are just trying a persona on that is not truly yours, and it feels fake and stunted and not really true for you, right? So there's a whole higher version that you can tap into, and you definitely have it, because we all have it. So yes, that's self-doubt, a normal human reaction. Exactly. I do not want to get back into the dating world. It was hard before, but now for jab free, nearly impossible. I don't know if that's impossible. I will just invite you to shift those beliefs. Look, this is a great example of beliefs, right? If you believe, and this might be really annoying as I'm saying it, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you believe that, let's just take that. If you believe that it is hard to date in current times for whatever reasons, right? It is hard to date. Your belief is going to inform everything. You're going to wire your mind to see all the evidence why that's true, and you're going to keep seeing it, and then that's going to be your experience. If you step out of that, I know it's difficult, but I can say from what I've observed, there are loads of people saying the same thing So there's a whole world out there. There's a whole world of people out there who feel exactly as you do. So there are more than enough people. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, not impossible, but very hard. I'm trying though, staying positive. Well, you know what? I'd say more than staying positive, because positive, you can stay positive, but if underneath you're still believing that, yeah, I know. I know that you're aware, but it is hard. So try this. If you're trying to stay positive, that's going to feel like exhausting because you're trying to stay positive, but really underneath you feel that it's hard, right? It's like you're trying to stay positive, and some days you do and some days you don't, and it's exhausting. Try What I would say on that one very quickly is if you shift your belief, but this is how you do it. You're not trying to tell yourself, I now believe that, you know, I can meet people and it's easy, but you're just choosing a belief that if you could choose any belief that you would have, what would it be? If you could choose a belief that served you, it would be something like, it's available to me to meet the love of my life, right? It's available. So that's the kind of belief you want to just pluck and just almost like reprogram yourself with it, because it is going to require reprogramming because it feels hard, right? Of course it feels hard because there's that, you're looking at the reality and that's what we're seeing. So that's a whole other subject, but just wanted to touch on that. But yeah, it's that kind of thing, right? But the dating world, yes, I know it's very interesting times right now. I can imagine it was already interesting, and now we've got. But in a way, do you know what I feel? I feel like, in a way, with polarizing times, it's actually easier to connect with people, um, because I guess because it's so divisive. There's pros and cons. Divisive is difficult, but because it's so divisive, it kind of makes it easier to see where people are and whether they're on the same page as you. So the fact that it's so polarizing, if I was in the dating scene, this is what I would say. I would say to myself, well, I can do it with friendships. I'd say it's easier now to connect with people who I can recognize straight away when they're on the same page as me or not. I recognize straight away. And remember, that's only one part of the dating thing anyway, because you could be on the same page as that and then not compatible in 10 other areas, right? But it's an interesting, juicy topic. I'd like to speak more about relationship stuff because that's an area that I really love as well, and it's a big area that people often want to work on. So yeah, maybe some more conversations on that. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, it's hard and you're trying and you're trying to manifest. So it's like there's a lot of like trying hard energy, that's where you start with it, but there are other energies you can tap into. But I'm glad that you're on that journey, because that means you're wanting more, right? You're wanting more. And you know and just a little tip on that, what I would do is just start to daydream and start to imagine what you want. Like, imagine, going back to what we're talking about today, if you're stepping into your higher version of you, right? Higher version of you, what kind of relationship does he have? Like, see yourself as the higher successful, whatever that looks like for you, version. He's doing this, he's living like this, he's feeling like this, he's looking like this, he's walking like this, he's behaving like this, right? See yourself in that, and then start to see who would be the partner that comes in that completely matches you. Like, what is she like? Is she serious? Is she funny? What is she, right? And start to just play with that. So rather than trying to work hard at it, start to just play with it and start to get really very playful, very playful. Yeah, and just yeah, being open to what comes along. Exactly. Yeah, and get playful about it, because the more playful energy you will attract from that place, right? So you're more likely to just attract someone who can also be playful with it. So it's light and it's expansive. But yeah, I'm glad that you are, because there's good things, I feel, in store for you and for all of you watching the replay as well. There's so many things, and I want to remind you that your life can look completely unrecognizable 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, and so on. Like, you really, really can. And I'm like, I can see your comment. Just get clarity, right? It sounds like you do have some level of clarity. Yeah, so yeah, we'll just leave it there. So just know that your life can look unrecognizable. And I say that because I feel like in this lifetime, I feel like I've gone through so many phases and different versions of myself, right? the same goes for you, right? So it doesn't matter how stuck you are, how you feel, you could absolutely transform. I see it all the time, so I know. So even if you think you're stuck or there's no way, that's not correct at all. It's just you haven't seen it. But I take it from me as someone who lives and breathes this. I do it for my work, I do it for myself. Transformation is entirely possible, big or small, right? Absolutely. So tap into your higher self. No more faking it till you make it. You don't have to fake anything. You're an amazing being just as you are. You don't have to fake a single thing. And if you feel like yourself, you're having to step into this kind of persona of something else, just take a step back and just check out and notice that you're doing it. Don't berate yourself. Just notice that you're doing it and then start to ask these questions. If you were your higher self, what would that look like? So check out the podcast, episode 10 of my podcast, if you want to just go into a little bit more of that. And that is it. And also, of course, I'm here to guide, assist in transformations, channel information, assist you in all different ways. So just check out theawakerevolution.com. Yeah, click on ways to work with me, and you can just check out anything that I've got there that would be of interest to you. Single sessions, working longer. If you are not feeling like you can do it on your own and you want to just fast track any kind of transformation, I'm all about that. Or send me a message just to inquire. Feel free to message me. So that is it. I will go. I'll have a little break. I've got my coded clearing program tonight, so looking forward to that. And I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you, Darren. I'm so glad that you love my live streams. Thank you for being here. Thanks for watching the replay as well. And feel free to comment if you've got any questions off the back of any of this. It's a big topic, right? So I try and cram in as much as I can. I could speak all day, but got the rest of the year, right, to cover all sorts of topics. So if there's any questions, anything you want me to speak about, or anything that you're wondering, feel free to comment, and I could always include it in a future live stream, because I am doing them every single day here on my YouTube channel and here on Facebook. All right, so I send you lots of love. Have a good rest of your evening, day, and I'll see you, lovely soul, tomorrow. Okay, see you then.